Watching sunrise meets my skin. Even with my eyes still closed, I can feel it coming in. Golden.
Hi, welcome back to another episode. Today we are going to get some garden stakes ready for our backyard. We have our seed starter over here. It's doing really well. Happy with how the sprouts are coming together, so we'll get some of these planted into our raised garden bed. But as you can see, we have quite a few little shoots over here, so they're doing really well. I got these seed markers off Amazon. They are little copper stakes that we can write on and put in our raised garden bed. So those will be great to identify the plants that we have, so we can fill those out and get them in the garden, just so we know what we have growing back there. So let's get these filled in and get out into the garden.
Every change has a reason. Baby, let it come to you. Every soul, every season lives outside of status quo. If we stop believing we're meant to be, expanding our abilities.
Hi there, welcome back to another episode of Life with Z. We have a fun weekend ahead of us, and I'm so excited to spend some time with you. After getting this project done for the garden, the next thing on the list is to clean out the pantry. I've been meaning to do that for a while, so we can get it done together. And then this weekend, my friend is coming over, and we have some fun plans in store. It's going to be a great weekend, and I can't wait to spend the time together with you.
Wanna cry. I don't wanna waste my time. So baby, we should start living now. Baby, we should start living now.
As I got all these plant tags filled out for the garden bed, I was thinking about how I really need to get a second garden bed for the backyard. I don't know what I was thinking, but all my sprouts really took a lot faster than I was expecting them to, and that's a great problem to have. So next project is to get another garden bed for the backyard so that we can keep all our little plant babies going and keep them happy. So as you can see, we have quite a few little sprouts back here. It's looking really good, and it's been such a fun hobby to get back into. Years ago, I had a little patio garden, and it just brought me so much joy. So I'm really enjoying getting back into this hobby. So I got some of my little seedlings transplanted back into the garden bed now that we have little sprouts shooting up. And then I'll get my seed markers all placed around the plants so that we know what's growing as it comes up. I had a little piece of paper you can see there in the corner where I had kind of marked what was planted where. So I used that to put our new seed markers in. So we have a cute way of being able to tell what we have planted.
I don't wanna waste my time. So baby, we should start living now.
Alright, you guys, I apologize for the terrible lighting, but it's after work and we have some things we want to get done around the house. So I've been putting off organizing my pantry. It's getting a little bit out of control. So today I want to do a bit of a refresh, get rid of some of the things we're not using, reorganize it so it's more practical and usable for everyday life. So here's a look at what we're currently working with. Got some extra things on the ground here. And just, we can definitely use this space better. I like to go through our pantry at least once a year just to make sure any old expired food is disposed of, and that the way I'm storing my food just makes the most sense for us. I like to have items that we use most often, kind of at eye level, easy to grab, and then also make sure I'm not holding on to anything that we won't use, just to kind of save space and keep things efficient. So I first set out all the food on the counter. I took that as an opportunity to magic erase any of the little marks that were on the wall in the pantry, vacuum the floor, and kind of wipe things down. And then here I'm just going through some of the baskets that we use for overflow, snacks, and food that just kind of accumulate. So time to get out anything that's expired and clean these baskets out and make sure that they are full of things that we will eat and that we will use. Once I had everything cleaned out and organized, it was time to put things back at the pantry in an organized way that would work for everyday use. So I went ahead and consolidated things and got them back in an organized way. Alright, you guys, here's the finished product. It's looking really good, much more organized. I love having all my baking supplies on the top shelf and my most used items easy to grab. All in all, really happy with how it turned out. Greg helped me to remove all the little labels off the storage containers that we had in the pantry. Funny thing is, I just never really liked these containers. They're so Pinterest perfect and they felt like something that I absolutely had to have. But when it comes down to the daily practicality of them, they just don't keep food as fresh as I think they should. And it's kind of excessive to take all of your food out of its original packaging just to put it in these containers. So while I really like the idea of them, and they just aren't for me, so I'm going to get all these containers cleaned out, and I plan to save them for another storage use. I was thinking potentially craft supplies or some other use down the road, but for me, in my pantry, these were not the most practical use of space. So we'll get them all cleaned out so they can dry and we can go ahead and store them for another day. I got this project wrapped up so that the next day when my friend came to visit, we could have a fun time celebrating Kentucky Derby weekend. She came into town the night before and we had a little mocktail and chocolate cake celebration. Picked this cake up at Publix and it was just the perfect fun little celebration the night before the Derby. Of course, had to bring Greg a piece. We've been planning this for nearly 6 months. So early the next morning we got up, got dressed in our Derby best, and headed over to Churchill Downs. This was the tunnel that you walk through to get to the infield. We had tickets for infield seating, so we were sitting in the middle of the track, and from our vantage point we could see the horses. There they go. It was pretty cool. We were able to just kind of sit on a picnic blanket, get some food and drinks, and lots of people watching, everyone in their fancy hats. The crowd was pretty excited, full of lots of fun people. So we had a great time. This was a bucket list experience and something I will never forget. We camped out on our picnic blanket and were able to watch quite a few of the races. I never really knew this, but there are 14 different races that go on that day, and we were able to catch about 6 of them. It was a really fun day, and then we headed home to watch a couple more of the races on TV and enjoy some more mint juleps and some air conditioning. This weekend was also opening weekend for our neighborhood pool, so of course I had to get the floaties out and get these inflated so that we could enjoy the nice pool on this warm weekend. I think these floaties are so fun. They're full of glitter. I picked them up at Pop Shelf last summer and we really enjoyed having them at the pool. So I'll get these filled up for the summer season so we can head to the pool and enjoy.
Every change has a reason, baby.
After spending a fun afternoon at the pool, we went back inside to make some guacamole and tacos for Cinco de Mayo. Julia got to work cutting up some avocados to make a simple guacamole. We used cherry tomatoes, some red onion, salt, pepper, onion powder, and garlic powder, and a little bit of salsa to whip up an easy and delicious guacamole.
We could stay or we could leave. There is nothing in between. So baby, we should start living now. 'Cause we only have this life. Wanna laugh and wanna cry. I don't wanna waste my time. So baby, we should start living now.
While she was putting the guacamole together, I got started making some simple taco fillings. I made some ground turkey for Greg and then made a skillet with some corn, black beans, red onion. I added some seasonings and some lime juice, and I cut up some cherry tomato to add after the skillet was done cooking. All in all, it turned out delicious and was a great vegetarian taco recipe.
Who can decide? Baby, you and I should start living now. With the whole world at our feet. We could stay or we could leave. There is nothing in between.
Next on our menu were some mocktails. We mixed some chili powder and salt to make the rim on these glasses, added a lime wedge, and then put some pebble ice. I found these mocktails at Sprouts. They're jalapeno and blood orange. They were delicious and the perfect addition to our Cinco de Mayo celebration. Next, we set the table to sit down and enjoy our meal and celebrate a fun weekend well spent with friends. That's all for today. Thank you so much for spending the time with me. Can't wait to see you next. Bye!
Cheers to senoritas.
Appalachian sunrise.